أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وفقها في الدين يا رب العالمين وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. يقول الله عز وجل: يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين. Before Ramadan, we started a chapter on the chapter of clothing. Inshallah, we shall continue from there. Here, our subtitle is regarding wearing silk, sitting on silk, wearing silk, and men wearing silk, and why it is forbidden for men to wear silk. And we'll read through a couple of the hadith, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly prohibits silk for men, not for women, for men. There are those hadiths which are very clear cut, especially for salah as well, that are general commands that are for men. Many of our unfortunate people, they get mixed up with these certain ahadith. Okay, there's clear ahadith for women, there's clear ahadith for men. In certain things, there are clear ahadith for men and certain ahadith for women. Same way, likewise in salah as well. There's hundreds of ahadith regarding women that very clearly show their postures are different from the postures of a man in salah. Okay, that's just a side point. Anyway, عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا تلبسوا الحرير فإنه من لبس في الدنيا لم يلبسه في الآخرة. رواه البخاري ومسلم والترمذي والنسائي. Umar radiallahu anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, he reports Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, لا تلبسوا الحرير, do not wear silk clothing. فإنه من لبسه في الدنيا, whoever wears it in this world, لم يلبسه في الآخرة, he will not be given it in آخرة to wear, in Jannah. So this is a very clear admonition for those who wear silk out of pride, out of arrogance, but these are not the illah. You know, in Sharia, especially as tullabul ilm, students of knowledge, they want to find the illah for every single thing. You know, once I was speaking with a student, he was saying the illah of the beard is that you mustn't be like a woman. I said, how can you come up with the illah when it is a strict, direct command of Rasulullah? You know, when you have a strict, clear-cut, explicit nas of Quran and Hadith, there's no way that you can come up with a reasoning and try to defeat the purpose of that reasoning. Just like we've done the Hadith in regards to Musbilun Izar. You know, those who try to, unfortunately, there's a lot of Egyptians and Syrians and many other Arab scholars, they try to make excuse and try to find a leeway to say, oh, there were some scholars that allowed wearing the clothing under the ankles. How are you going to come up with an interpretation when there is a clear-cut, 100% pure clear-cut, sahih, authentic ahadith after ahadith after ahadith? How would you come up with an explanation on the day of judgment in front of Rasulullah when you know the sunnah of all the Sahaba were to wear their clothing, whether it was their thobe, whether it was their robe, whether it was their izar, whether it was their pants, to wear it above the ankle? You can't. It's a very clear-cut command. You can't come up with your own explanations here. You know, this is what many people, unfortunately, even the Arabs, they try to find this opinion and that opinion. This opinion and that opinion is not going to help you on the day of judgment. Rasulullah will recognize you with certain attributes. Rasulullah will recognize you with the beard. This is your symbol of your being Muslim, not just your symbol of being a man. Okay? It's your symbol of being a man as well as a Muslim, as well as a ummati of Rasulullah that he will realize on the day of judgment. Same thing with the pants and the clothing under the ankles. Ma asfala min al-ka'bayn fa finnar. You want to challenge that? Whatever is under and beneath the ankles is inside the fire. You want to come and make an explanation to that? Astaghfirullah. You know, there's certain things you do not go close to. You do not go close to, and you caution yourself. Look, this is not my, even if there is an opinion, even if there is an allowance, even if there is, you know, some scholar in history that allowed it, unfortunately, you know, he's going against the direct command of Rasulullah. We have to understand that this is the direct command of Rasulullah, which is 100%. There's no shak, there's no raib, there's no doubt in it. And Rasulullah was given as uswatul hasana. He was given as to us with sublime character in order for us to follow him. Whoever follows him, follows Allah. Man yuti'ir Rasul faqad ata'a Allah. You don't want to follow Rasulullah and the way he looks and the way his character is in this dunya, then how will you achieve Jannah? How will you achieve his shafa'ah on the day of judgment? So this is something to keep in mind. Anyway, so there must not be any example, there must be no excuse made for a person, even if he has the wealth. If you have the wealth, just because you have the wealth doesn't mean you should flush yourself with silk clothing. This is something which is a disease, unfortunately. They want to go to a big event, big conference, big seminar. They have to wear such clothing that outdoes everyone else. This is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. I mean, you could do it within the confines of the Sharia, as long as the place that you're going to is halal. Unfortunately, free mixing is the common theme of the world right now. Okay, everywhere you go, even the weddings that you go, sometimes you can't even avoid it because they are such close relatives. If you don't go, you're gonna end up breaking family ties. So some of our scholars say, don't send your women folk. Rather, you just go, eat, and come back. Or even if you can't eat, show your face and then leave the place. Because it's a place of haram. It's a place of sin. It's a place where the angels are cursing. It's a place where jinnats are there. Jinnats are there to trouble these women. So your eyes will go all over the place. You're a man at the end of the day. You've got your wife to go back to. You shouldn't be seeing all these things. Anyway, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram will stay haram. It is for you to see a woman in an inappropriate way, even to stare at her for a glance. Of course, Rasulullah says the first glance is overlooked, pardoned. But what is this talking about? Is this talking about staring at another woman? No, astaghfirullah. This is wrong interpretation of the hadith. Isn't it? It's only when you suddenly look at a woman, faj'atan, fuja'atan. You suddenly look at a woman and then immediately you lower your gaze. This is where قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Tell the believers to lower your gaze and to look away, look away from anything which is inappropriate. Anyway, وعنه, again from Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, سمعت رسول الله. Here he says directly, I heard Rasulullah with my own ears. سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما يلبس الحرير من لا خلاق له. رواه البخاري وابن ماجه والنسائي. Verily, those who wear silk have no portion of akhirah. Have no portion of akhirah. This is even more severe. The other one was, whoever wears it in this world will not wear it in akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made sundusin min sundusin wa khudru wa istabraq. He has made fine silk, and then green comes also inside that verse, and then thick silk as well, brocade, silk of brocade. So they say there's different types of silks and different types of expense to each silk. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared all, the best and the lowest as well. But of course, the lowest of Jannah will be the super highest of anything that can ever be possible in this world. Anyway, next one. So, man la khalaqa lahu fil akhirah. Whoever, he doesn't have any portion in akhirah for him because he's doing something which is haram. He's wearing something which is absolutely haram and against the orders and commands and instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه أن نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لبس الحرير في الدنيا لم يلبسه في الآخرة وإن دخل الجنة لبسه أهل الجنة ولم يلبسه. Allahu Akbar. How clear can you get than this hadith? This hadith is in Nasa'i and Ibn Hibban and Hakim. Whoever wears silk in this world will not wear it in the next world. And then Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, his addition from the narration of Umar ibn al-Khattab is, and even if he enters Jannah, he will not be given the garments of silk to wear, even if he enters Jannah. Imagine, you are being deprived of something because of a sin that you committed in this world. A command that you went against Rasulullah and Allah in this world, you are going to be prohibited even in Jannah. Just like the person who drinks alcohol, knowingly, intentionally, knowing that it is haram, knowing that it is a command of Allah and Rasul, that it is absolutely haram to go close to alcohol or to deal with alcohol, and he drinks alcohol. If he drinks it in this world, in Akhirah he will be How many Jannahs are there? 4 Jannahs, isn't it? Four rivers, sorry, 4 rivers. Water, milk, honey, and then the khamar, isn't it? Khamar comes first and then honey at the last. So, subhanallah. He'll be prohibited from the khamar, the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made specifically for those who stayed away from alcohol in this world. They will be drinking from that river, that special river that doesn't give you intoxication and doesn't take your mind away. وعن علي رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أخذ حريرا فجعله في يمينه وذهبا فجعله في شماله ثم قال إن هذين حرام على ذكور أمتي رواه أبو داود والنسائي. Ali radiallahu anhu, he reports Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam took in his right hand a piece of silk and in his left hand a piece of gold, and he showed it to the whole audience. He said, these two have been prohibited upon the male folk of my ummah. The males of my ummah, these two have been prohibited very clearly. Now, can you come up with an interpretation on these? These are clear-cut ahadith for this. These are very clear-cut ahadith. It is best to stay away from silk and gold in all forms. In all forms. For example, if you go to fatwa, anything which is below, for example, 9-carat gold, we have English gold, isn't it? If you go to fatwa, they'll say it's allowed because it's not considered gold. 9-carat gold is not considered gold. There's less than 24-carat is actual pure 100% gold, isn't it? Whereas something which has less than 12-carat is not considered gold because majority of it is alloy. Majority of it is different metals. So it's not considered gold. So in reality, you can wear it. You can wear 9-carat gold if you have 9-carat gold. But is it the best thing to do? It's not. Okay? It's not the best thing to do because why? You're resembling women, and you're going, even though you're not going directly against the command of Rasulullah, and it's okay according to fatwa, but your nafs will not allow it. Why? Because you're a Muslim. So no, why should I be wearing gold for? This is haram. Rasulullah made it haram. Even if there's little quantity of gold, even if it's allowed according to fatwa. But your nafs, that's why Rasulullah says, ask your nafs, istafti qalbak. It doesn't say 40 arba'in an-nawawiyya. He says very clearly, make your own self the mufti. Make your own self the mufti. Sometimes when you have doubts and you want to ask a alim, you already have doubts. You know this may be haram. So why go in it? Why even go in the gray area? Don't go in the gray area. Stay in the clear. Whether it's halal, it's halal. It's haram, it's haram. You know yourself what's halal and haram. If it's gray and you're not 100% sure, don't go close to it. The best thing is not to go close to it. If you know that this PFC or this shop that I go in a different place where there's no Muslims, most likely it's haram. So for you to now go in and try to, unless you're in a situation where you're stranded and whatever, then okay, maybe you ask the guy, your chips is fried in the same oil as the burgers or as the sausages, then you may ask, if you're in that situation. But generally, if you're in that situation, try to go with other foods that are not doubtable, that are not doubtable at all. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لبس الحرير في الدنيا لم يلبسه في الآخرة ومن شرب الخمر في الدنيا لم يشربها في الآخرة ومن شرب في آنية الذهب والفضة لم يشربها في الآخرة ثم قال لباس أهل الجنة وشراب أهل الجنة وآنية أهل الجنة سبحان الله رواه الحاكم وقال صحيح الإسناد. Here Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates that whoever wears silk will not wear it in Akhirah. Whoever drinks alcohol will not drink it in Akhirah. Whoever drinks in the vessels, in the containers, in cups, in plates that are made of gold and silver will not have it in Akhirah, will not have it in Jannah, will not have it in Jannah. And then he went on to explain the beauty and the drink and the clothing and luxuries of the people of Jannah. Rasulullah continued the ahadith. وعن عقبة بن عامر رضي الله تعالى عنه قال أهدي لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فروج حرير فلبسه ثم صلى فيه ثم انصرف فنزعه نزعا شديدا كالكاره له ثم قال لا ينبغي هذا للمتقين. Rasulullah was given a robe of silk. So this was before the prohibition. This was before the prohibition. This is another problem. Many of these imams, unfortunately, I've heard it with my own ears, that's why I'm going to say it. For salah, I mean, your salah is invalid. The moment you speak after a 2 rakats, let's say imam, he led a 4 rakat isha salah. This happened, that's why I'm saying it, okay? In East London Mosque, recently, in Ramadan. In 4 rakat isha salah, the imam prayed 2 rakats and he made salam. Then he started conversing regarding the salah, because the other imam said, you only led 2 rakat, you didn't read 4 rakat. You're supposed to read 4. But the point is, this imam spoke with that imam. Okay? This imam spoke with that imam. Then he stood up immediately and he continued another 2 rakats. The imam, he stood up and he continued another 2 rakats. Is this salah valid? Shaykh Abdul Qayyum, immediately after salah, he was giving the fatwa that there's a hadith. Yes, there's a hadith, but when was this hadith given? This is a nasikh hadith you're quoting. This is haram. You're deceiving the whole ummah. I'm not saying to go against Islam. Wallahi, I'm not saying this to go against Islam. Astaghfirullah. This is not my intention. Okay? This is not my intention. But the point is, how many thousands of people are behind you? You got 10,000 people behind you. So what if you repeated 2 rakats? You know, you just done 2 rakats of Isha Salah. Just do 4 rakats again. Not a big deal. Now, if the Isha Salah wasn't valid, according to all 4 imams, according to all the Salafus Salihin, because that hadith that he quoted after Salah is mansukh. Mansukh means something which is abrogated. It happened before Islam, but then it happened in the initial stages, but later on, it got prohibited by Rasulullah himself. Talking, eating, saying salam in salah, all of these things became prohibited. We know this, isn't it? Huh? This is not allowed anymore. If this happens, then your salah will not be allowed. So likewise, to repeat the whole salah again, it's not a big deal. But to make an excuse from a nasikh hadith, from a hadith which is abrogated and cancelled in the initial stages of Islam, and to quote that, to make it right, astaghfirullah. You've got 10,000 people's salah on your shoulders on the day of judgment. How are you going to reply? Not only this salah, Isha salah wasn't valid, the whole Tarawih salah is only after Isha. So if your Isha isn't valid, then how is your Tarawih salah going to be valid? That's going to be considered as Qiyamul Layl. It won't be Tarawih. Tarawih is only after Isha, isn't it? After the Isha salah is performed. You can't pray, and this is another point, that a lot of the imams that come late, unfortunately, if they didn't pray the Isha Salah and they came and led you in Tarawih Salah, your Tarawih Salah is not valid, because according to them, their intention is Tarawih, but they didn't pray the Isha. So it would be considered as normal Nafal Salah. It won't be considered as Tarawih Salah, sorry. So these are things which you must keep in mind. So Rasulullah, he was given a gift of a silk robe. He wore it, he prayed salah in it, and then he took it off. He took it off as if he was disgusting it. As if he disliked it. He disliked it. ثُمَّ قَالَ لَا يَنْبَغِي هَذَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is not suitable for pious people, for righteous people, for people who are God-fearing and Allah-fearing. So this hadith, this is in Bukhari and Muslim. This is in Bukhari and Muslim, and you can see that in this stage, if you quote this hadith, it will be a problem now, isn't it? It was allowed, maybe. People maybe used to wear it, wear clothes of silk. But Rasulullah clearly prohibited it. Rasulullah clearly prohibited men, to not wear silk anymore. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the correct understanding. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Just to